Do you believe Floyd, Dana, wants to fight?
I don't know. It's just this whole thing is so weird. First of all, let's cut out the BS right from the get. He hasn't talked to anybody about this fight. If you're talking to somebody about the fight, you're talking to me. I'm the promoter. Conor McGregor's under contract with me. And to say that Conor McGregor hasn't made $8 million or $10 million in a fight, wrong again. And to think that you're the A side, how are you the A side? The last fight, the last major fight that you were in, you left such a bad taste in everybody's mouth that nobody wants to see you again. His last fight did 350,000 pay-per-view buys. Conor's last fight, Conor did 1.3 million and 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. So I don't understand how you think you're the A side, and there's a reason that you want this Conor McGregor fight so bad, because you know that's your money fight. You know, and if they're going to box, Floyd looks at this thing like an easy boxing match for him, you know, but Conor McGregor is his money fight. Okay. And, you know, to offer him 15 million, I'll tell you what, Floyd, here's a real offer. And I'm the guy. I'm the guy that can actually make the offer. And I'm actually making a real offer. We'll pay you 25 million. We'll pay Conor 25 million. And then we'll talk about pay-per-view at a certain number. There's a real offer.
Okay. Can I ask about what do you believe the pool is? What would you project pay-per-view?
Well, when you look at things like this, you have to, you know, take an educated guess of what you think the possible pay-per-view. I would be disappointed if a Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather match didn't do over 2 million, you know, 2.3 to 2.5 million. But then the upside could be, who knows, maybe it could do what Manny Pacquiao did.
Okay, so let's do low number to keep it simple for our audience. 2 million at what, $70, $75 a pop?
Again, that's all you'd have to, there's so many different variables that would have to be worked out and figured out in the deal. You know, how much do you charge for the pay-per-view? Does the pay-per-view providers give you a better split for this one-off fight? There's so many different. I could go on for days.
Okay, so let's say it makes $210 million. The companies take about half of it. You're left with 115, 20 million. So you'd say here's 25 each guaranteed. Then UFC and you guys split the pay-per-view.
Well, here's the other thing. We wouldn't put on a fight like boxing did. If we did Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, there'd be another championship fight as the co-main event and a stacked card just like we did in New York. And when the show was over, people would leave at least feeling, whether they bought it on pay-per-view or went to the live event, like they got their money's worth.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate. I'm Floyd Mayweather. I got $100 million in the bank, and I don't really need to fight again. I'm unblemished, and I don't really need to fight. Now, it's not like Conor has to fight Floyd. He doesn't. But there's more incentive. The UFC doesn't punish. The fans don't punish a UFC fighter for losing. Diaz and Conor are still stars, can lose 2 more times. Floyd could lose his identity if he loses. So I'm Floyd. I don't need to fight. You UFC guys need to fight.
Well, Floyd's 49-0, and you know, his record means a lot to him. Money means a lot to him, but his record means a lot to him. It would be devastating to Floyd Mayweather if Conor McGregor beat him in a boxing match.
No question.
It would be devastating.
It would not be devastating for Conor,
if he got beaten. Right. But at the end of the day, you say, I'm Floyd Mayweather. I don't need to fight. You don't know if Floyd's fine. Listen, when you're chartering planes just for your luggage, you burn through money pretty quick, okay? When you're chartering planes for your luggage and, you know, spending the money the way Floyd, don't think that Floyd doesn't need money, because Floyd loves to burn it.
Okay, so let me go back to this again. Is Floyd just throwing these numbers out because he doesn't really want to fight? That's what I wonder. Is he being so unrealistic and so obtuse, he's just doing this to tweak you because he don't want to fight?
Absolutely.
See, that's what I believe.
And he's claiming he's made offers. He hasn't made offers to anybody. Floyd Mayweather hasn't made an offer to anybody. I just made a real offer. There's a real offer to Floyd.
25 for each fighter.
25 each.
Split the pay-per-view.
And then you split the pay-per-view at a certain number. You know, obviously, a lot of things to dig in and a lot of things to
if you talk to Conor today, What is his sensibility on this fight? Floyd's talking nonstop. What does Conor think about this potential fight?
I'm going to tell you why Conor McGregor is still doing over 1 million pay-per-view buys and Floyd isn't. Because Conor McGregor will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime, including Floyd Mayweather. He absolutely is that guy. Whether Conor fights Floyd or he doesn't, there's a line of guys that are ready to fight Conor, that Conor will fight, that are going to do over 1 million pay-per-view buys. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Conor McGregor loves to fight, and he is one of those guys that will take on anybody, anywhere. Floyd keeps putting this thing on his social media of Conor getting choked by Diaz, you know, but Conor fights. Conor is, I'm the guy that stands in the living room and tells you your opponent fell out or is on the phone, and I know how all these guys react when it happens. Nobody reacts the way Conor McGregor does.
If Dana White, president UFC, let's say they fight and Mayweather won, would it hurt the UFC brand?
No, listen, we like making fights that people are interested in. We like putting on entertainment, you know, events, whatever. So no, I listen.
You're not paralyzed by
records. As long as the people who buy the pay-per-view or bought the tickets are excited with what happened that night, how do you lose? How do you lose in a scenario where you put on a great night of fights for people? That's the thing. That's why, in my opinion, do I think that Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor would be the best fight you've ever seen? Probably not, but it'll be pretty damn exciting. But I'm going to build an entire card underneath it. I'll have another title fight, and I'll stack the card like it was at Madison Square Garden. So you're guaranteed that night to at least get your money's worth, unlike the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight.
This may be a boring question for my audience, but I know that you run the UFC, and I know that you are the promoter for the UFC. I don't know who runs boxing. So when you negotiate this stuff, who do you negotiate with on that side?
Yeah, it would be interesting on Floyd's side. You know, I guarantee it's not going to be Floyd. Floyd has a lot of input on what's going on, but Floyd isn't going in and doing the deals.
There's no Don King.
No, but he has a manager. He has a guy who
would say for his side, we got a deal?
I don't know.
I know who your side.
Well,
Conor's ready to fight.
Well, don't you think it's funny? Floyd's claiming that he made these offers. I don't even know who we would do. You know what I mean? There was no offer ever made to anybody, ever, until 2 minutes ago. Now a real offer has been made.
$25 million for both fighters, split pay-per-view. If now, my guess is Floyd wouldn't like that, because Floyd's ego is, I'm the bigger fighter, even though you've laid out that he doesn't have the pay-per-view leverage that he used to have.
Right, and here's the thing: Manny Pacquiao ended up doing that fight at and you hear all these numbers thrown around, but it's something like Floyd got 250, Manny got 100. You know, it's still a lot of money for both guys, but there's no big fight without Manny. Manny was as important in that fight as Floyd was.
Would Conor take less to get the fight? If push came to shove and you're in a room with Conor and you're saying, Conor, we can get this, but you got to take slightly less.
Conor can do whatever. There's a list of guys lined up to fight Conor McGregor that would love to fight Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is going to fight all day long, and he's going to do over 1 million pay-per-view buys, and he's going to do fine. And if for Floyd Mayweather to think that kid hasn't made $8 to $10 million, you know, it just goes to show you what we're dealing with here.
Dana White, let me just, you said because one of the things that you've done very well, and even before I knew you, I had written in my first book about this, you have kind of owned Saturday night. Like NFL's like Sunday. You know, I mean, that's really important.
Right.
Like you became a sport, not only became a sport, but you started owning a night. That's a big deal, like March Madness.
And when we started, we had to go on Friday because boxing owned that night.
That's right.
On Saturday night.
So this is a big part of your business is Saturday night's UFC night. So you build these cards. I'm just going to throw a name out to you. Is Ronda Rousey going to fight again? Because I didn't think I'm not sure if she looks like you got to be all in this sport. You got to be 100%. I don't know, Dana, if she's all in.
Right. Listen, she trained hard for that fight. She wanted that fight. She was mentally and physically ready for that fight, but she knows what happened. I don't. I'll tell you what, of all the people that were actually defending Ronda Rousey, one of the biggest ones was Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate said, let me tell you what, say what you want about Ronda Rousey, Amanda Nunes hits like a truck. She fought her first. She beat two back-to-back legends. So I don't know. Ronda and I haven't talked. We text. Yesterday was the first day that we started texting. And even if, it was just a regular fight, the fight that's going to happen this Sunday. I don't mess with the fighters for a while. I let them have some time off, and Ronda and I will talk soon and see what she wants to do.
There was a point, Dana White joining us. He has made an offer, Dana has, to Floyd Mayweather, $25 million for both he and Conor McGregor, and they split the pay-per-view. What is your current relationship? And this is okay because promoters historically and fighters, the great fighters are artists. Ali was an artist. I mean, Tyson, many of the fighters they're big personalities.
Right.
Fighting is the most humbling moment anybody could have.
Right.
You're in your underwear, 100 million people watching. Okay, so you're dealing with temperamental athletes. What is your current relationship with Conor?
Yeah, I've always, there's a lot of people who play off this relationship thing with me and Conor. I have a great relationship with Conor. I mean, could I possibly speak more respectful about him? And it's not like, Conor needs any more encouragement on how great he is.
Right.
And everything else. But it is what it is. I call it like it is. Conor McGregor is special. He's a special, not only, does he, can he talk the talk? He goes out and he backs it up. He's fat. His press conferences are awesome. They're fun to watch. The weigh-ins are amazing, and he always delivers on fight night. And he is truly a guy who will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Do you believe he respects Floyd Mayweather, who is more of a scoring boxer than a knockout guy, more avoiding punches than landing them? Do you think he respects Floyd?
I'm sure he does, And if you look at Floyd and Conor, there's a lot of similarities there in their personalities and the way that they act. They both like money. They both like really nice things, and they both like to show you all their nice things. They're similar in a lot of ways. And even though I say whatever to Floyd, and Floyd and I get into it a lot, but what Floyd has accomplished to go undefeated for 20 years
is amazing.
Listen, even if, say what you want about him, a lot of people will criticize this and that. To go undefeated that long is very, very tough to do. Not every night is your night, but every night Floyd Mayweather has gone out, it's been his night.
Okay, Sunday FS1 BJ Penn fights. You found Conor McGregor. You found this meteor, the kind of a cliche, but this star, this rising star, and you spotted it before other people. So you're in the business of spotting talent. You largely are a Simon Cowell. You have to spot talent before other people do. Who is the next Conor?
Well, I don't know if there is another Conor. You know what I mean? When you find certain people, especially in the fight business, the difference in the fight business is all that really matters is that at the end of the day is your ability to fight. If you're a great fighter, I don't care if you're a deaf mute, okay? As long as you can fight, that's what people are showing up to see. But if you have the extras like Conor has, you have this flair about you. You can speak really well. Your timing is as good as a comedian's.
Right.
He has this whole arsenal of tools that he is truly a one-of-a-kind special type of fighter.
Is he a global, domestically, Floyd can bring in domestic numbers, but my argument is that Conor's an international pay-per-view.
Very good point. That's exactly right. Floyd can say he's the A or whatever he thinks he is.
He's not international.
Exactly. Floyd Mayweather is not international the way that Conor McGregor is. Not even close.
How many, in Ireland alone, how many pay-per-views could you...
Not even Ireland, Ireland, the UK, parts of Europe. He's massive in Australia, Canada, Brazil, South America, you name it. Conor McGregor is
beyond our
star.
borders.
Huge star.
Okay, Dana White has made an offer to Floyd Mayweather, $25 million both fighters, split pay-per-view. That probably means they both make over $60 to $70 million. Floyd wants $100, probably unrealistic. Dana, they have a fight card Sunday here on FS1 BJ Penn. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.